Live from Morgantown, West Virginia, it's the Youngstown State Penguins and the Mountaineers. Youngstown State, they're on a 5-game win streak, and they are off to their second-best start ever. Meanwhile, the Mountaineers, they are looking for an 8th consecutive victory. They haven't done that in 4 years. Thanks for making us a part of your holiday season, everybody. I'm Dan Zangrelli alongside the Hall of Famer, wonderful Warren Baker. Well, the Mountaineers are 10-1 bake, and they are flying high. Youngstown State, they're in a really good spot. This is going to be a great barometer game for Jared Calhoun's.
It certainly is. Another game where the student is going against the teacher, so it should be an interesting matchup this evening.
All right, so we're looking forward to it as we take a look at the fourth-year man. There he is, former assistant on Bob Huggins' staff. Jared Calhoun is really appreciative for everything that Bob Huggins has been able to do for him over the course of his career. Hugs, of course, has played a number of his former assistants. 320 here at West Virginia. He's looking to climb within 10 of the great Jim Calhoun. So we're ready to go here from the Coliseum. Isaiah Cottrell at that center jump circle, opposite of Michael Akuche, the 6'8", 220-pound senior forward. And we're underway here on this Wednesday evening from the Coliseum.
And Youngstown starts out in the man-to-man.
Taz Sherman, one of 20 in the nation to average over 20 points per game. Kedrian Johnson out of control early.
Offensive foul.
So West Virginia looking for that early take to the cup. And a little too hard there on Miles Hunter. Youngstown State, well, they've had to shuffle their starting lineup. Garrett Covington has been missing for most of the year. Their super senior was really just a big energy guy, speaking of energy. Denied.
Boy, two good plays at both ends of the court.
And from the corner, the Penguins. A little strong there from Akuche. And then the putback.
Miles Hunter with good inside position, got the stick back. Akuche had a really, really good look.
West Virginia with the usual starting suspects. Johnson looking to kick. Cottrell looking for the early three. Short.
Good box out by Youngstown.
Rutan Mays. And picked up by Johnson. Mountaineers 6th in the nation in turnover margin. Sherman working on Cohill. The step back, up and good. Miles Hunter puts Youngstown State in the lead early.
Hunter off to a good start. One thing Jared Calhoun said, my team will not be intimidated, and you can see right now that they're playing with a lot of confidence.
Good cut by Sherman. Can't finish the bucket, but he'll go to the line. And that, of course, Warren Baker, is an area where West Virginia is looking to improve right here, the free throw strike.
They certainly are. Boy, it's been a rough year to begin with at the line for West Virginia. Good cut by Taz Sherman going back door, getting a pass. Couldn't get it to drop, but he'll be at the line.
Taz Sherman, the best free throw shooter for the Mountaineers, is 77%. As a team, they are at 61. Warren, your keys to victory outside of the free throw shooting. Tell me what you have.
Well, for Youngstown, they need to match West Virginia's intensity. West Virginia's been off the slow starts lately. I look for them to come out, with a little fire today and also defend the whole court.
West Virginia on the board.
They want to make West Virginia come out when I say defend the whole court, make West Virginia defend that whole court. And West Virginia's keys, they need to dominate on the glass, and thus far we've seen Youngstown State be able to get and do that. And good transition defense for West Virginia. That's also huge.
The Jalen Bridges block. He's coming back the other way. Here's Cohill. And the Mountaineers force the turnover, harassing Rattan.
Excellent double team in the corner.
McNeil. Bridges inside the circle. Set the screen. And a one-hand slam. Isaiah Cottrell. Oh, what a take.
A lot of West Virginia people have been waiting to see that.
On the other end, another block. West Virginia with 2 in the opening 3 minutes.
Boy, it's good to see Cottrell with that much energy early on.
Taz, the step back. Too strong, and off the bounce, Cottrell. Jalen Bridges turn around short. And now Youngstown State in the tie game, 3 minutes gone by. Dwayne Cohill, the Dayton transfer. On the crossover, the take, contested. And Isaiah Cottrell able to stand up straight and then get fouled. So how about Isaiah Cottrell? Bake a long time coming.
Yeah, people have been waiting to see that out of Cottrell. I think everybody knew that he could do it, but he's just not shown that up to this point.
Daniel Ogora checks in for the Penguins.
Daniel Ogora is in the lineup for Youngstown State.
Youngstown State will play 10 players. They're a lot like West Virginia. A lot of guys are going to come in and out.
Kedrian Johnson, Jalen Bridges. What kind of shooting night will McNeil have for West Virginia? Short on the baseline, Jay, and we remain tied at 4. Olesen left open. Too strong this time in West Virginia. Off of the bounce, Kedrian Johnson. Whistle, foul, Youngstown State.
Yeah, Miles Hunter got caught behind Polycat. Polycat with good positioning inside.
Team foul number 3.
Sherman, the step through. Again, not able to finish. Big rebound by Agoro. And in the corner, up and good, Miles Hunter.
We talked about West Virginia's keys, good transition D. You have to pick these guys up because they will put it up. As you can see just now, they don't wait. If they get a good shot, they're going to take it.
I'm talking to Jared Calhoun the other day. See what Kedrian Johnson could do today. He really believes that he's going to be an unsung hero for West Virginia. That's, of course, Jared Calhoun. Keedy calls for the screen. And off the mark, woefully there. And a shot clock violation, never hit iron. And that'll bring us to our first break in the action. 7-4, West Virginia trails by 3.
Fans, be sure to pick up a free copy of tonight's Mountaineer Illustrated.
Welcome back to the WVU Coliseum. I'm Angelica Trinone. Youngstown State head coach Jared Calhoun told me earlier this week this game is all about seeing how much better his team has gotten. That being because one of its star players, senior guard Garrett Covington, suffered an Achilles tendon injury just 2 games into the season. So now over these last 8 games, it's been all about reinventing this team. Covington is the heart and soul of this team, is what Coach Calhoun said. So now it's all about finding those other guys who can step up. One of them have been Dwayne Cohill for this team, and he's a big loss. You see him over there sitting down with the cast and the wheelie. Looks a lot like Isaiah Cottrell last year, guys, and certainly a big part of this Youngstown State team.
Yeah, no doubt, Angelica. Thank you very much. And this is a 3-time member of the Horizon League's all-defensive team. He averaged 13 a game last year and was in double figures through 3 games before he got hurt. So big loss, but at long last, as this take here by Akuche is off the mark, Bake, they have figured out a way, Youngstown, on the 5-game win streak to move on without Garrett Covington. It took a little while, but they eventually did settle things down, and here they are looking for their 6th consecutive victory and a big upset over West Virginia.
Yeah, Jared said other guys would have to step up, and they've done that, and they're figuring out how to adjust.
West Virginia. The miss. Pauly Cap. First time. No. Second time.
Wow.
Nope. 0 for 3. West Virginia. They came into that media break there, Bake, missing 7 of their first 8 shots. And out of it, they missed their first 3. So the Mountaineers just 1 of 11 to begin the game from the field.
Well, boy, and those were 2, point-blank shots just now. West Virginia had a chance to drop down, and they just wouldn't go.
Well, good to see Malik Curry back in the lineup for WVU, as Kedrian Johnson will check out of the lineup. He's turned the ball over a couple of times. So Malik Curry, who wrenched his left ankle on the road in the true road test that West Virginia had for the first time down at UAB. We'll see Curry perhaps a step slow there on his man, as Rattan cannot finish. Let's see Curry on the opposite end here with that left ankle. Doesn't really seem to have anything taped up. Might be underneath the sock. Curry.
Yeah, he seems to be moving okay.
Gabe Osaboyan. Boy, missed that. West Virginia, tough start. 11 of 12 they've missed to begin the game. Down 3 here.
And a lot of them down in the paint.
So, nobody seems to want to be able to put the round ball in the round cylinder.
No, that's right.
Going. So looking at Youngstown State, right? West Virginia, a 1 of 12 start from the field. The Penguins have missed 9 of 12 shots. Pauly Cap will take a seat.
Well, coaches always say, we can get it down low. You guys have got to be able to finish it, though, Doing a good job hitting the boards, but just can't get the ball to go down.
Damon Kerrigan. Let's see if he could change the fortunes for West Virginia. Osaboyan. Let's see what Sherman can do. Taz with 4 to go. Osaboyan strong on that one. And the Mountaineers out of there without points. They've missed their last 9 shots.
Well, Gabe Osaboyan was looking for contact just now. He'd have been better off just to power that up and lay it in.
Rattan Mays.
West Virginia has been getting off to some slow starts this year, and this is another one.
Kicked ball with 7 on the clock. So 8 of the last 9 Youngstown State has missed. West Virginia's lost their last 10 opportunities at making a field goal. And thus we have what we have here so far in the early going. Bacon. Aesthetically pleasing, it is not in the early go.
It's colder in here than it is outside.
And Malik Curry fouls on the sideline inbound. Well, Jared Calhoun, member of Hug staff from 2007 through 2008, and then he came back in 11 and 12. And boy, everybody is on board with Calhoun in Youngstown. And why would they not be? Because this guy has the Penguins coming off back-to-back winning seasons, and that's a rarity here. And rarities are air balls that go out of bounds. Tevin Ollison unable to connect there, but Bake, you see what he's been able to do. Jared Calhoun last year finishing 15 and 12, winning record, second straight year, just the second time they've had back-to-back winning seasons, Youngstown State, in 36 years. The give and go, Curry. And again, West Virginia remains ice cold, missing their last 11 shots. They've missed 13 of 14 to begin this game.
Well, neither team really, really lightened it up. If Miles Hunter wasn't playing for Youngstown, they wouldn't have scored at this point.
That is true. Tevin Ollison transferred from an unknown Kentucky University of the Cumberlands, an NAIA school. His take, walled off there by Sherman. The step back hangs on iron, and yikes is an early way to describe this one. And so it's best we take a break. What do you say? Everybody
needs
catch
one.
their breath and regroup. So how about Youngstown State? 3 of 14 to begin the game. West Virginia, 1 of 14. My word. Look at this score.
Welcome back to the WVU Coliseum. This is a place where Deuce McBride had no trouble making headlines, and now at at the next level, playing with the New York Knicks. He's doing that exact same thing. He was on the cover of the New York Post for his showing up against Houston. He played 36 minutes. He had a career high 15 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 steals, all of that without a turnover as well. Only 2 other Knicks have recorded that stat line. He becomes the first since 1988. That was his 10th NBA appearance. He's been playing a lot in the G League with the Westchester Knicks as well. But talking with Jared Calhoun earlier this week, he told me, of course, he's a West Virginia fan. That means he's been watching Deuce McBride at the next level. He believes that Taz Sherman is that same type of player that Deuce was last year for the Mountaineers, guys.
Yeah, Angelica, and he went as far as saying that he believes that Taz is the best scorer, true, pure scorer, as at long last, the Mountaineers break an 0 for 11 stretch from the field with that Malik Curry jumper. Coach Calhoun told us that he believes that Taz Sherman is the best true scorer that Hugs has had since really ever here at West Virginia.
Yeah.
Of course, best player, you know, Deshaun Butler, but it's also great to see Deuce doing some big-time things. We could use him here tonight for sure. As just the 4th made field goal for Youngstown State, they're able to keep West Virginia at a 3-point arm's length. As this thing, well, off to a slow start, both offenses, here as we approach the Christmas holidays. Taz could move, but unable to finish. And Sherman is off to the 0 for 4 start from the floor. Open look, unable to hit it. Daniel Agoro.
Foul whistled on Chris Shelton, his first.
Well, West Virginia has really struggled to get the ball in the hole. I mean, it just seems to be a thing where it's been contagious. Like Isaiah Cottrell back on the court now, and he was a spark from the beginning of the game. See if he can pick back up where he left off.
Will Curry be the guy? Nope, not this time. To step up, West Virginia needs just somebody here. 2 of 16 to begin the game, 4 of 17 for Youngstown State.
And Jared Calhoun has to be saying, boy, this is a 10-1 West Virginia team. If we were just shooting any decent percentage, we'd have a chance to really open this lead up.
Yeah, they really struggled from the perimeter early in Calhoun's tenure. And a good step back there by Miles Hunter from the free throw line. The Charlotte, North Carolina native will extend this Youngstown State lead to 5. They've improved on the perimeter, Youngstown State, and Ron Everhart was telling us, whose scout this is for WVU, that you really have to guard the perimeter here this evening. So we'll see if that 3-point shooting eventually does get better for Youngstown State, but West Virginia just needs scoring, period, at this juncture.
Well, somebody's going to have to find Miles Hunter on the West Virginia defensive end because he is lighting it up. He's the only guy not struggling to shoot.
Chris Shelton on the foul, and that's something that we're probably going to see a lot of here. Youngstown State doesn't want to take any fouls to the locker room with them, and by that they're citing essentially West Virginia's 61% mark as a team from the line. That, hey, an opportunity to box out off of free throws here. This is part of the Youngstown State game plan, is put the Mountaineers at the line and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, Jared Calhoun says we're not going to be afraid to foul them because we've seen that they struggle at the line. Last year, or the last time that West Virginia played at Youngstown State, West Virginia was only 10 for 28 from the line in that ball game.
Bridges goes 2 for 2 here for WVU, and the Mountaineers cut it to within 3 of the Penguins.
And full court man-to-man pressure right now, and they're going to trap. Hugs is trying to do anything to get this offense jump-started.
Well, the kick out and the reset. Good ball movement for the moving 3. Unable to hit it. Agoro, he's had some open looks, but Youngstown State is just 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. Cottrell will try another, and he'll miss it off to the right. 1 and done, WVU. Rebounding, even up. 14 apiece for both teams. Ollison working on Sherman. The cross and the kick. Agoro the take, but followed after the miss. There's Jameer Thomas, the senior forward.
Yep, Jameer Thomas. A big guy, 6'8", goes about 275. So you got to put a body on him or he'll just shove you under the basket. That time really easy.
Curry with an opening, takes it downhill, and is able to draw contact against Thomas.
Foul is whistled.
Thomas missed all of last year with an ACL injury. And so WVU will get back to the line. How about it? 4 of 4.
Malik Curry at the foul line. 2 shots.
And the early going, Malik Curry, one of many with 2 points apiece. 4 players with 2 each. Southpaw Malik Curry.
Well, it had been an emphasis to continue to work on that free throw shooting. To begin with, it started out good. Curry just misses one, but the Mountaineers have to improve on that free throw shooting. You talk about Youngstown State not being intimidated. Again, I mentioned the last time when West Virginia played at Youngstown, they were 10-15. Youngstown State out-rebounded West Virginia, and that was with Culver, Sheedway, and Miles there, Miles McBride. They out-rebounded West Virginia by 1.
So Mountaineers able to squeak by in that one, and it was a game that Youngstown State led at the half. Out of control here is Tevin Ollison.
Offensive foul.
Hutz thought Cottrell had taken one before. Didn't get the call, but did get that call just now.
Team foul number 7.
The Hugs team off to a 10-1 start. West Virginia looking for their 8th consecutive victory here this evening, but they've not had the lead yet. Trailing by 4. Ugly start, missing 16 of the first 18 shots in this one. Kobe Johnson in the lineup. Hugs just throwing everything up against the wall to see what sticks. Cottrell lost the dribble.
Oh, boy.
It goes from bad to worse, but the inability to finish for Youngstown State and Akuche. Man. Curry gets the foul. Yikes is the best way to put this. West Virginia hasn't hit a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. They've only hit 2 so far in this half. 2 of 18. West Virginia trails by a score that I simply refuse to mention.
Fans.
Welcome back to the Coliseum in Morgantown. The majority of the offense in this game coming from one man, Warren Baker. Miles Hunter, a perfect 4 of 4 from the field, averaging just inside of 4 points per game and just 5 off his season high of 14. How about those numbers in the early going, plus the rebounding?
Well, he's leading them in rebounding, and he's the one guy who has not had any trouble finding the mark here. You know, West Virginia with their 2 for 18, I'm using a line that I've used before. It looks like West Virginia is trying to shoot a beach ball through a lifesaver. They can't get anything to go through, and a beach ball is not going to go through a lifesaver. There we go.
There we go. Change that score. Thank you. Malik Curry. West Virginia's 6 of 7 from the line. So literally we've got 2 field goals in this game for the Mountaineers.
Well, you're 2 for 18 from the field and you're only down by 2.
Yeah,
it hasn't been great, but it could be worse. Yeah. Got to do it on the defensive end, right? When you're struggling like that, and that's what Hugs is trying to do by putting some pressure there. See if his defense can generate some offense.
Luke Chacon is in the game. Interesting story here, this freshman guard. The State of Ohio High School Player of the Year last year. Now turns the ball over for just the 6th time this year. It's a rarity for him. He's extremely judicious with the rock. Mountaineers will spread the floor here. A 2 will tie. A 3 will give West Virginia their first lead of this half. Osaboyan out high with 10 to go. Well, the open shot was there. Keedy Johnson instead will go left of the lane, and Cottrell missed it from 15 away.
Yeah, Cottrell's got to follow that shot.
Good spin move by Chacon. And then the Kick out on the drive. Owen Long is going to be doubled, and he throws it off a Mountaineer leg. Cottrell trying to use that baseline as an extra defender. Clock at 10. And the runner up and good.
Good ball movement inside by Youngstown. West Virginia looked like they were a step slow on the defensive end.
4-point game. There's the third field goal of the half. Kobe Johnson.
Well, Hudson's going to keep going until he finds somebody that can put it in.
That was the first field goal in 5 minutes for West Virginia. And a timeout by Jared Calhoun and Youngstown State.
Yeah, Chacon was tied up on the line there, called the timeout rather than turn the ball over.
West Virginia down 2 points. Let's take a look at Youngstown State. Got to move the basketball against this West Virginia team, Bake, and looks like the Penguins did a pretty good job of it here.
Yep, Akuche making a good job. Gave the pass up, got it right back, and was in a good position to knock that shot down.
Akuche missed his first 5 shots before getting the field goal there. Youngstown State creeping up over that 30% mark. Field goal percentage. Akuche, he is the all-time games played leader at Youngstown State. Closing in on 1,000 points, so likely get to that this year. A season ago was 5th in the Horizon League in rebounding. But especially with a guy like Garrett Covington out for the Penguins, you need a big-time senior leader using that extra COVID year, and that's the case with Akuche. And it's been a nice stalwart for Jared Calhoun, no doubt. Inside of 6 minutes to go, 2-point game. Chacon only had Division III offers. This kid, the gamble was taken by Coach Calhoun, and it's really paid off. Isaiah Cottrell assessed a foul here for West Virginia.
Not a real good foul by Cottrell. A bump outside. Huds did not like the foul by Cottrell just now. He looked at him and said, why?
Luke Chacon, no look pass. Long, lost it out of bounds. Thinks it last touch a Mountaineer, but it did not. So West Virginia a chance to tie with a good made field goal here. 3-pointer will give them their first lead of an opening half that was about as forgettable as West Virginia has played, missing 17 of their 20 shots here in this opening half. Jalen Bridges, Taz Sherman has been cold as well. And body foul there by Ogoro.
Well, you know what? Youngstown State has done a good job of impeding Sherman's cuts through the lane. West Virginia's having a hard time finding him. Now, he's cutting through, and guys are hedging and making him run different routes, able to get the ball just now, but he has to struggle for everything here.
Well, Sherman has hit all 3 of his free throw shots. Well, hey, this guy, you think that he wants this game? I mean, he came close a couple of years ago in downtown Youngstown when the Mountaineers went to the Cavelli Center, had the lead at halftime, able to pad that lead in the opening minutes of the second half, but West Virginia was able to turn up the defensive pressure. But against his mentor, 3 losses, he would certainly like this. West Virginia, meanwhile, ties things up. Youngstown State. Long. Cohill takes on Cottrell and can't drop it home. Bridges, strong rebound for WVU.
That's Cohill's strong suit. He loves to drive the ball to the hole.
Cottrell trying to back down Akuche, but with the left-hand jump hook, can't do it. But there's Bridges again with the rebound. And the Mountaineers, at long last, their first lead of the night. Bit of a Bronx cheer from the gold and blue partisans.
Good aggressive move by Bridges just now.
We get a pretty good crowd here, something to cheer about here. We haven't had much of it. And now you can start to feel a crescendo.
Well, West Virginia's pressure defense has really got Youngstown running more than I think they would want to at this point. And that time it caused an errant pass.
And it's Evan Allison. Check back in for the big one.
West Virginia with the front court inbound here, and Mountaineers with 6 unanswered points here against Youngstown State. Knocked out by Akuche.
I think the defense that West Virginia's been playing has really gotten them going here a little bit on the offensive end. And the fact that they've changed the tempo speed of the ball game.
Bake, what do you do when you're in a rut like this? It looks like West Virginia right now is starting to climb out of it, but...
Well, again, I think defensively that's what had them do that.
Tell me from a player's perspective. I mean, what are you looking for? What do you want here? Well, maybe just a few to go down. That'll help, too, I suppose.
The movement wasn't good on the offensive end for West Virginia. And, again, I think the defense has got the offense going now.
West Virginia pressuring the ball initially. Now they back off. As Cohill, a transfer from Dayton. Mountaineers were at 1 point in on Cohill. Penn State as well. Great relationship with Jared Calhoun. Cohill able to really have a good year for the Youngstown State Penguins. But unfortunately for Penguins fans, they turn it over. They thought it was tipped. That'll take us to break. West Virginia by 4.
Happy holidays from our Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus crew. We are delighted to have 9 WVU students working with us here on the broadcast today. We got my guy Brandon right here helping me out behind the camera. We got Bailey Tucker, she's helping us out with audio, and then back in the truck, also Gianna Ellison, she's our technical director. Now these students work alongside a rotating group of professionals, all led by WVU Director of Video Services, Scott Bartlett. They bring you everything West Virginia athletics year-round on Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. They've got a great shout out for you at halftime to wish you happy holidays. But hey, another guy who wants to wish you happy holidays, it's Santa Hugs. This picture coming to you from 2018 whenever Hugs had a little holiday fun. Certainly looking for a little holiday magic here in this game, guys.
Back so far.
Seth Wilson in the game for West Virginia now. He could provide some offense. Double dribble called by Ray Natili on Jalen Bridges.
Miles Hunter checks back in for the Penguins.
West Virginia forcing the turnover.
Just a second ago, there was a ball that was tipped at Youngstown State. Thought that West Virginia had hit, and it did look like West Virginia tipped the ball.
Yeah, that was going to break, and you could see Ogoro there.
Boy put his hand on Gary Maxwell, which is a no-no. He's lucky he didn't get a technical foul call.
Hey, credit Maxwell for not necessarily overreacting, right? In a spirited game there, and
well, it looked like Youngstown State had an argument. That ball looked like it did hit a West Virginia player before going out of bounds.
West Virginia trying to extend an 8-0 run here, leading by 4, trailing the majority of this opening half, where they've just struggled woefully here from the field, and now they've done much better here from the free throw line than they have all year, going 9 of 11, 82%. Taz Sherman 4 points in the opening half. He's missed 4 from the field, but his offense here coming from the charity stripe. West Virginia by 5. And the Mountaineers with the backcourt pressure. The one-hand jam is missed. Cottrell will be assessed the foul on Ollison, who went up for the hammer Hugs doesn't like it.
Foul whistle.
Allison really wanted to try to put a poster together with that. Almost got the dunk.
The line for Youngstown State.
Allison's 85%. What's Hugs arguing there, Bake?
Well, I think he's saying that there was a lot of ball, or that he really didn't, I think the call was with the body, though.
Yeah.
Said Cottrell probably got him with the lower body.
So Cottrell has to take a seat. His second foul. And the Penguins able to climb within 3.
And now you see a 1-3-1 pressed by Youngstown State. No problem for West Virginia.
Keedy Johnson doubled, slips, falls. Seth Wilson. West Virginia with 5. Sherman with a man in his face. Unable to hit the baseline jumper. Now one-on-one basketball. And Akuche able to take it all the way.
Akuche really going to the basket hard.
Just like that, 4 unanswered by the Penguins, and it's a 1-point game.
And the defensive switch by the Penguins has the Mountaineers confused a little bit right now.
2 minutes to go. Wilson with a jump pass. Well, they're doing a good job getting in Sherman's face. Now an open look for Keedry and Johnson, but he cannot find the bottom. Off the bounce, Sherman. Sherman. Seth Wilson from that right angle. Nope, not this time. Collision, foul. West Virginia's Jalen Bridges.
For the personal, his first. Team foul number 5.
And hopefully Shamar Reten Amaze is going to be okay. Meanwhile, take a look at Akuche on the take, but the question and the concern right now is certainly with the sophomore from Ontario, part of the all-freshman team in the Horizon League. Let's take another look as to what could have happened as it favors that right leg.
Not putting any weight on it at all. Oh, boy, it buckled underneath. Yep.
Immediately, you could see the look on his face. Yikes. That's 9.2 points per game, heading right into the locker room.
And not putting any. That did not look good. Well, you just hope, if you're a Penguin fan there, that that's something that is not as serious as it may have looked going off the court just now. Having already lost Covington, they can ill afford to lose another player like that.
The two-hand jam denied. Another West Virginia foul on the Penguin dunk attempt.
Well, Cohill loves to go to the hole, but that's just poor defense by West Virginia. Cohill right down the middle of the lane.
Hugs incensed.
Well, Cohill should have never been able to get that close to the basket to begin with.
And a tie game.
Polycap came over to help, but I don't know whose responsibility he was as he came up the court.
Penguins have the lead again, 21-20. Yikes. 6-0 run by Youngstown State over their last 80 seconds. West Virginia's turned the light off over their last 2.5 minutes. Bridges.
Nice pass by Taz Sherman. Bridges found a seam in that 1-3-1 and made him pay.
Looks like the Penguins wanted to spread the floor. Allison stripped of it. Bridges has shown up defensively. The pull-up. In and out. Look at Sherman coming out of nowhere, and the ball off of Sherman's head, his face, caromed 30 feet into the air. Is Taz okay?
What nice pass, no look pass to Bridges. Bridges found that seam just now. But, give Jared Calhoun, credit. His defensive change has really slowed West Virginia down, who looked like they had gotten in a rhythm.
West Virginia by 1 with inside of a minute to go. Cohill will run the show for the Penguins. In a first half, we'd like to throw atop a Yule log. Cohill splitting defenders. Yikes.
That's what he likes to do. He wants to drive to the basket, and West Virginia really not doing a good job of staying in front of him.
5-second difference between the shot and the game clock, and Malik Curry's going to use a timeout here.
And HUD's using that use it or lose it timeout.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, we're at a loss for words here. I mean, the elf on the shelf could probably make a shot here, and we could get something going. 21%, right? I mean, what are you drawing up here if you're Bob Huggins? You got a 6-second differential between the shot and the game clock, trying to swing that pendulum back to the locker room so you go in there with the lead just so you feel somewhat okay about your circumstances. So how does this look?
Well, you know, Hud's probably drawing up something against that 1-3-1. It'll be interesting to see whether Jared Calhoun switches defense for the last, 20 seconds of West Virginia's shot clock here. But that 1-3-1 has been very, very effective for Youngstown State.
So we will see what the teacher and the pupil here do in the final 26.1 in a 1-point game. In a game that was essentially a rock fight, resembles something of the Stone Ages.
Youngstown State back in the man-to-man now, out of that timeout.
Malik Curry, 5 to go. The crossover lets a defender go by. Bad shot to the alley-oop. Polycap at the buzzer, able to give West Virginia the lead. Inside of 4 seconds to go, the Penguins have to hurry. High off the backboard, and West Virginia by 1 as James Naismith rolls over in his grave.
No, it really hasn't been pretty.
Oh, boy. Angelica Trinone is standing by with head coach Bob Huggins. I can only imagine, Angelica.
Well, Coach, it took a while for you into the game to get the lead. You have it here by 1 at the half. Safe to say you need to see a lot more from your team in the second. What adjustments need to be made?
We had no energy. We had absolutely no energy. We didn't guard them. We told them they were going to penetrate and pitch. They've penetrated and pitched the whole game. We've missed layup after layup after layup. I mean, we missed enough layups to be up by 10 or 20. So,
Coach, thank you.
We have to learn how to make a layup, I guess.
Thank you.
Yep, that'll sum it up there, Bake. Layup after layup after layup. It's halftime. West Virginia has the 1-point lead. 5 lead changes, 3 ties, and a big bucket of yuck here from the Coliseum, folks. Stand by. So here we are, 1-point game. West Virginia getting the field goal late in the opening, final seconds, I should say, of our opening half, 24-23. Not many highlights to speak of, Warren Baker here in this opening half. But what is your biggest takeaway, and what adjustments, I suppose, do you feel Bob Huggins is making here as we take a look at some of the highlights for Youngstown State?
Well, yeah, Hunter really started really strong for Youngstown State, and he was their offense early on, and West Virginia really didn't have any. Couldn't put the ball in the ocean. But I think the defensive changes for West Virginia and Youngstown State have played a big part in the way this game has flowed back and forth. But West Virginia's got to be able to make layups.
Yeah. And they haven't, quite frankly. Gabe, typically, obviously, not known for the defense, but, Malik Curry usually would give you some at the end of the day. And, of course, you've got some offense inefficiencies here that you have to deal with, where Jalen Bridge was able to come on late.
Yeah, Jalen has really played pretty well, done well in control earlier on, but West Virginia really struggling.
So the numbers, if you want to go ahead and cover your eyes, here they are. Yeah, 7 of 30 do the algebra. That is just 23% from the field for WVU. However, 61% from the line as a team coming in. Bake, they hit 10 of 12 from the charity stripe.
That has been a bright spot there today, but yeah, West Virginia needs to do that. But this offense has got to get clicking here.
Yeah, rebounds, 8 points. Youngstown State with that advantage. I'm sure that sticks in Bob Huggins' craw.
Well, it did, and Youngstown State, as I mentioned earlier, out-rebounded West Virginia last time, and that was with Culver and Sheetway on the court. So they go up and battle you. If it was a present for each team, it would be a lump of coal in each stock.
My goodness. So, as Jared Calhoun will assemble his team one final time, he had a chance to speak with Angelica Trinone. Angelica, what did he say coming out of the locker room?
Well, guys, when I met Coach in the tunnel, I said, man, that was a sloppy one on both sides, but your team is still in it. He laughed and he said, truly, that's all that we could hope for in this game. He said we had a great week of practice. He thinks that's showing defensively in his team. Right now, they have confidence. He says the biggest adjustment his team needs to make is taking care of the ball. If they can limit turnovers and create more shots, he has a feeling his team could go up a couple baskets on Bob Huggins' team.
Well, Angelica, he did mention to us that this is a barometer game to see where his Youngstown State team is, winning their last 5 games coming into this one here as a look for a lead is strong off fire. Bake, how would you say that Youngstown, coming into this hostile environment and, taking their game up a level against a really quality opponent here in West Virginia, how are Youngstown State fans feeling about this opening half and perhaps plays just like this?
Yeah, well, I think, oh boy, I've got a late call on the foul there. I think the fact that Jared knows Bob so well, I think he has his team prepared. They're not intimidated by this situation at all. He says, I know we can play with these guys, and these guys believe it right now. And they've played not great, but they've done enough to be right here in the game.
They were a couple of years ago in the lead over West Virginia at the Covelli Center. That was 2 years ago yesterday that West Virginia traveled to downtown Youngstown, had the lead at the half to Youngstown State in the opening minutes of the second half before West Virginia was able to pull away. A chance for Agoro to tie here, and he cannot. An 83% free throw shooter, the sophomore from London, England, Daniel Agoro. Oh for 2.
Yeah, those keys to the game again match WVU's intensity. Well, Bob Huggins wasn't happy with that, so that hasn't been a problem. And defend the whole court, with Taz Sherman and they also need to make West Virginia defend the whole court. West Virginia has struggled with that.
Kedrian Johnson able to draw a contact.
And for West Virginia, they need to dominate the glass. That hasn't happened. Right now, Youngstown State out-reading by 1. And good transition D. These guys want to fire that ball up. You've got to be able to pick guys up. And we've seen guys be able to get all the way to the hole right now. So West Virginia's got to tighten the defense up, especially in transition.
Here's Kedrian Johnson, 2 shots.
Bake, dare I ask you here to pass out grades, Professor Baker, on this half of basketball?
Well, I'm going to be really, really polite and say let's both take incompletes.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That is fair.
After the second half, we'll see whether or not the paperwork has been turned in to pass off some grades.
Yeah. The midterm not so great, but it's all about that final, right? You can redeem yourself during finals week. West Virginia, the pressure on, buzzing like bees. Can they get it across? Oh. Kedrian Johnson with the foul at midcourt.
Yep, there was a bump in the back.
Johnson called for the foul. His second team foul.
West Virginia by 2. Well, Huggs, wonder what's going through his mind right now.
Ogoro off the court right now. There's a temporary halt here. He's got a cut on his finger, so he's over by the trainers. See if he can get that patched up so he can get back on the floor here.
Agoro, 6'5". They list him at 175. I don't know about that. He's a pretty big boy.
Yep.
But they might have to make a decision here at some point if they can't get that under control.
Checking in for
So
Youngstown State.
they will have to make a sub.
Shelton.
So instead, they bring in Chris Shelton, Richmond, Virginia native, the junior guard. As we play on, Penguins can tie with the 2. Tevin Ollison one-on-one with Sherman, befuddled and kicked it out of bounds off his knee. And the Mountaineers will get the ball back. Youngstown State turning it over for the 10th time this evening. West Virginia 6 turnovers.
Allison trying to do too much just now and lost control of the ball. Rutan Mays, the guy that we saw go down, I don't see him on the bench dress, so his night may be done. Let's just hope it's not too serious of an injury.
And we'll try to get an update, see if Angelica can help us out with that, as Taz looks for his first bucket of the night. The no-look kick out. Kedrian Johnson will return it to Sherman for 3. Yes, there it is. His first of the evening, and West Virginia goes up by 5.
Well, I don't know what Miles Hunter was thinking, because he was right there, but he didn't get a hand up on Taz Sherman, and certainly that's a mistake.
McNeil and Bridges double Ollison. But they're able to get it across quickly, and there's Bridges again defensively. He's shown up tonight.
Yes, he has.
Keedy on the fast break. Sherman lets a defender go by and hits another. So perhaps this is just the beginning here for Taz Sherman and the Mountaineers, as Jared Calhoun
He has seen
calls
enough.
timeout. He has indeed. Something to cheer about at long last, as West Virginia opens up the second half on a 7-0 run. 17:58 to go. Second half, West Virginia into their largest lead of the evening of 8 points. Taz Sherman, back-to-back three-pointers. Well, if you're joining us late, Youngstown State, they lost one of their better players, or so it appears. We have not seen Shamar Rutan Mays return to the lineup. After that play right there, he immediately went to the locker room. And as you can see, number 22 for the Youngstown State Penguins is not there. We're efforting to find out his status, but by the looks of it, as we play Warren Baker, amateur athletic trainer, it doesn't appear that he'll be able to return.
Yeah, I just saw him. He's walking in the hallway out in the area right now, trying to walk it off. Yeah, he's gingerly walking, coming back out on the floor now, out to the bench.
Well, he's going to have to do a lot of convincing, I would think. Here's a good inbound play. Chris Shelton gets behind the West Virginia defense for an easy lay-in.
That has to really bother Bob Huggins. They go over all those baseline inbounds plays numerous times, and I've seen that happen to West Virginia in other ball games.
McNeil, just his second shot of the night, and from way outside, West Virginia is able to extend their lead to 9 points. Third tray in the first 3 minutes of this half. Now the Penguins will try to trade, and they do match McNeil's trade with a Chris Shelton triple.
Those guys don't hesitate. That's why you've got to have good transition D. Find those shooters.
Oh, into and out of the hands of Cottrell.
Wow.
Oh boy, that's got Bob Huggins talking to himself and others on the bench.
Unforced turnover.
Can he atone for it defensively? Akuche on the handoff. Shelton again in as many possessions, in Youngstown State hanging around just like that. 9-point game. It is now a 3-point affair. 34-31 Mountaineers. Couple of unanswered threes by the Penguins.
Well, Shelton only averages 5 points a game. He has 6 in the last 2 possessions.
Keedy working the middle, draws contact. Kedrian Johnson will go to the line. And perhaps another Penguin shaken up, and this is a big one in Akuche.
I think he took taking a blow to the nose there. He's trying to shake it off.
At the line for the Mountaineers, Keedy Johnson.
Now that'll water the eyes.
Yeah, where you take a good shot to the beak like that, that will water your eyes.
Kedrian Johnson 61% on the year. Tonight 1 of 2. West Virginia, as Johnson is strong. Let's take another look at that shot to the beak, as Bake would like to call it. Ooh, the elbow.
Yep.
That or smelling salts. You have to pick one.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You only have one to pick from there. No, those are tough. Well, he should be okay. Kedrian Johnson, 1 out of 2. West Virginia, 12 of 16 from the free throw line tonight. Much better than their 60% mark. Oseboyne into the game to harass. Youngstown State, good ball movement. Fighting over it, the Penguins. Akuche. Good passing to the corner. Well, how many passes here on this possession, which is down to 7 seconds. Ends with an air ball.
Well, outstanding defensive possession for West Virginia.
After all that movement, one bounce. Cottrell, he had that opening, didn't see it.
Wow.
West Virginia will watch Youngstown State pick up that foul, Miles Hunter, and that brings us to a break in the action. West Virginia led by as many as 9. Hit 3 triples, but a couple of unanswered three-point shots by Youngstown State. It's a 4-point game with West Virginia ahead. Cottrell going to the line when we come back.
Well, like you heard Coach Huggins tell me at halftime, he was not happy with his team's energy in the first half. He said energy and enthusiasm are something this team has been lacking, and they really don't show it until late in the second half. He said he's had a talk with his team because it always takes time for them to get knocked back down, crawl their way back up to figure out they need to work hard. He said he's told his guys, you cannot always wait until you get knocked down before you start putting up a fight. That is not going to be helpful whenever Big 12 conference play starts, but he said one thing about his team, no matter what, it's going to compete.
Well, they came out, Angelica, hot shooting, West Virginia. They've hit 3 of their 3 shots after going 7 of 30 in the opening half. 0 of 5 from beyond the arc, and all 3 of those shots are from long range, as Cottrell able to knock down free throws for West Virginia. And the lead for WVU is back to 6, their largest 9. West Virginia is pressured in the backcourt all evening, and a triple team and a steal. Sherman, the reverse layup. Vintage Mountaineer basketball there.
And the pressure really giving Youngstown State all types of problems.
And Gabe Oseboyne, no surprise, right in the middle of it.
Boy, 3 men trapping. And the great thing, they did not reach in, did not pick up a cheap foul right there.
And apropos for Sherman to finish it the way that he did. 8-point lead, West Virginia, and the ball. Kedrian Johnson on that foul line extended. Taz Sherman with a man in his face, short. There's been a little contact on that jumper. West Virginia has outscored Youngstown State 15-8 here in this second half.
This is no surprise to Jared Calhoun. He knows what West Virginia can do, whether his players can weather it or not. Now, that's an unknown. And another turnover, 10-second goal.
Ah, yes. The Youngstown State Penguins have been informed of it. They've been shown it on tape, but really until you experience it
That's right.
in Morgantown, it's a different animal. But that guy right there knows all too well. He's seen the story before.
And the energy level for West Virginia in here in the second half is just unbelievably different than it was in the first half.
McNeil inside of 10. McNeil trying to create space with 4. Gets it to Gabe. Not ideal, but how about Oseboyne drawing the contact? Not what West Virginia was looking for with a shot clock coming down, but Oseboyne will get an opportunity here. Though I'm sure Youngstown State will sign for that.
Really, McNeil didn't have many options. Gabe was the only person on that side of the floor, but nice move, nice head fake by Oseboyne to get the shot off.
We'll see what Gabe,
foul.
yeah, we'll see what Gabe can do here. Just 28% on the year. A deep breath.
Boy, the same thing that Hugs has been harping on. No arc on the shot at all. You got to get it and shoot it up. get your arm under the ball, get it in the air, get it up in the air. Too flat.
Yeah, almost becoming a mental thing here for Gabe. As he gets
That was
number
better.
8. Yep. 8 of 27 on the season.
Checks back in for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia matches their longest lead of the night. 9 points. Oseboyan checking out. Bridges on the ball. As Youngstown State quickly into the forecourt. And a quick 3. In and out. Not this time. Off
boy.
the bounce. After the Shelton miss. Akuche takes on McNeil on the baseline. And McNeil able to wall him off there and force the travel.
Akuche just a little too anxious inside.
Checks back in for the
He
Mountaineers.
had backed O'Neal down and just, tried to rush that shot up, got him on the travel.
Mountaineers will try to extend their largest lead of 9 points into double figures.
Youngstown State staying in a man-to-man. We saw them switch defenses in the first half. That gave West Virginia trouble.
Would they be better served going back to that, Bake?
Oh, I think at some point in time you'll see that, yes. I think they're more concerned right now of trying to get the ball up the court than what they're working on the defensive end.
Shelton gets the foul.
Chris Shelton.
The Hampton transfer. Chris Shelton, the junior guard. Only one more foul to give before West Virginia shoots free throws. McNeil. And West Virginia leads 43-31, his second of the half.
You can't forget about West Virginia shooters. They're just too good. We've seen Taz come out hot now. McNeil's come out. These guys shoot the ball too well.
West Virginia with the midcourt pressure. Out of control. Dwayne Cohill.
Yep.
So how about this screen? McNeil with the quick release. Bake, a thing of beauty here.
Yep. Nice job by DC Kerrigan. And McNeil just needs a little bit of daylight. Pulled the quick trigger and knocked it down. This defense has Youngstown State playing at a pace that they're not comfortable. And now there's a technical foul.
Wow. And I think they're going to get Ollison for barking about what happened on the other end.
No, it's Cohill. Ray Natilli.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is Cohill. Beg your pardon.
Ray Natilli standing right there. He'd heard enough.
Number 5, Dwayne Cohill. That's his 4th.
And that is his fourth foul.
McNeil, meanwhile. See if West Virginia can pull away.
Well, Youngstown State has lost their composure. They really have. And the defense that West Virginia is playing that has sped them up is a big reason why.
And Cohill's going to get a breather.
Checking in for the Penguins.
By the way, which
Luke
that's his
Chicago.
4th foul. 2 Penguins on the bench with 4. 2 starters, that is. Cohill and Hunter. From the corner, McNeil. And he got the roll.
The hometown roll. Youngstown State had gone to a 1-2-2 defense just now, and somebody forgot about McNeil in the corner.
When it's going well, it's going well. It's going well for West Virginia. 48-31. The backup guard, Luke Chacon, running the show now. Desperation heave. Shelton strong on it. They're going to get Kerrigan over the back.
Well, you can't let Jamar Thomas get that low inside. He's just too big, too strong.
Polycap and Kobe Johnson check in for the Mountaineers.
So Polycap and Kobe Johnson in the game for WVU. Sherman will get some rest. So too will Kerrigan. As Youngstown State, a drought of nearly 4 minutes, trying to snap a 14-0 run by West Virginia. And the volley in is good by Jameer Thomas.
You've got to get a body on him outside the lane. You can't let this big guy go down the middle of the lane. Youngstown staying in the zone right now. They're in a 2-3 zone.
McNeil again, and one! He cannot miss apiece in the second half.
How can you play a 2-3 zone and not know where he or Taz Sherman is on the court?
West Virginia hasn't missed from beyond the arc. They're 6 of 6.
Sean McNeil.
And Sean McNeil is 4 of 4. He only took one shot in the opening half. And Sean McNeil now has a game-high 14 for West Virginia. 4-point play, can't finish, as the Mountaineers looking to pull away here against the Penguins inside of 12.5 minutes. Chacon picked up by Curry. The one-hand pass and a touch into the corner. McNeil left his feet. And the wide open shot. Shelton can't get it. The follow, the layup, off of the pass, Jameer Thomas.
Basket by Thomas.
Thomas is just doing whatever he wants to inside. West Virginia's got to get a body on that big guy. Stand in that zone. I bet they try to find O'Neal now.
Why not pull the trigger if you're Sean McNeil? Bridges, will he get in on the action? Curry threw it. The dunk and the jam. Pauly.
Nice job by Curry. Curry went down the lane because everybody came out to shade McNeil's side. Curry went down and made a tremendous pass to Polycap.
That's how you do it against that zone. From the angle right, long, too long, and we're at a break. Well, Sean McNeil, he woke up, he showed up, and he just kept hitting 3 after 3 after 3. 4 of them, in fact. And West Virginia's rolling on a 19-4 run. It was a 1-point game at halftime. Now it's an 18-point lead for the West Virginia Mountaineers, 53-35. But how do you get there, and how do you get there so quickly? Warren Baker, one man, Sean McNeil.
Yep, Sean McNeil has really found the range now, and some defensive lapses by Youngstown State allow a guy like that to shoot it, and you're going to pay. That and the defense that West Virginia has been playing, that's been a big key here in this second half.
Kobe Johnson and
He's fun to watch when it's working. He had just one shot taken in the opening half. West Virginia is a team shooting 8 of 9 as Youngstown State brings the backcourt pressure. Mountaineers not panicking. McNeil is not out there to start. He's on the bench getting some rest as we come up on 11 minutes to go here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday evening. An early Merry Christmas to you and yours. Dan Zangrilli, Warren Baker, Angelica Trinone. Glad to have you along. West Virginia with the offensive rebound and a fresh shot clock. Polycap, the jump hook, short. And off the bounce, here's Youngstown State on the run out. Shelton in the corner. Nope.
Well, Shelton started out hot here in the second half. He's cooled off a little bit.
JB, strong. Good box out by the Penguins. And Miles Hunter, he's playing with 4 fouls. One of 2 starters. The other is injured. In and out. Again, a miss from long range. Tevin Ollison this time as Youngstown State is shooting 3 of 17 from outside. Good to see Seth Wilson playing in his 4th game of the year. In the rotation, Sherman has had an off night by his standards, but he's been able to do things like that with a good dish to get Polycap to the line.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sherman, he had a good look at a 3 and passed that up. Drove, got the ball off the Polycap.
Amazing, I'm saying Sherman having an off night. He has 13 points, right? He's been able to get to that free throw line, 5 of 6. He's nailed a couple of 3-point shots. But that's the standard that he set when he's gone 3 of 9 from the field, but yet he put out a 13-point effort.
Well, he and Sean McNeil can get hot quick.
Yeah.
Doesn't take them long to get the points up.
Polycap, meanwhile.
Nice looking free throw by Polycap.
But the Paul transfer, you know, I talking to a lot of folks as Polycap has really endeared himself to West Virginia fans as you see Hunter take a seat. You know, there's some people that just fit, right? And Polycap fits. His style of play.
Nice job. He got the ball up high enough, put it up soft, and it went down.
An area of his game that he's really working on. And you can tell he's a worker as he will head to the locker room, grab something to drink perhaps, and we'll see Paulie before too long.
Foul whistled on Seth Wilson.
And Seth Wilson picks up a foul.
Foul number 4.
Well, Jared Calhoun knew that it was going to be an uphill battle. His team came out scrapping in the opening half, held the lead the majority of that opening half, as West Virginia doubles the baseball pass intended for Thomas. Isaiah Cottrell D'ing up, and he's starting to figure it out, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Slowly but surely, coming off an Achilles injury. I'm not sure if we make enough of that, right? And I know Mountaineer fans, high expectations for a guy like Cottrell, Warren, but you know, coming off an Achilles injury, that is no joke.
No, it's not.
Considering the Huggins system. Another 3 missed. That's 3 of 18 from beyond the arc for Youngstown State. Mountaineer foul.
What I think West Virginia's defense has done, even when Youngstown State gets in the half court, they're rushing shots right now because West Virginia's made them play faster. They're not taking their time on their shots when they get good looks from the perimeter.
Akuche is back in the lineup. Block out of bounds by Cottrell from behind. Well, you know, you take a look at a guy like Cottrell, who Jared Calhoun is rooting for, Gabe Osagoyen, who Calhoun calls one of the unsung heroes. That's no surprise. Of course, Fairmont's Jalen Bridges. When Calhoun was at Fairmont State, would have loved to have a guy like JB.
Wow.
But you take a look at these guys, Hugs, you know, putting his arm around Bridges. He's meant so much to a guy like Jared Calhoun. And, you know, you take a look at these guys. You hear it's back in the day. Hugs' hair was a little darker. And hey, look, there's Andy Kennedy, UAB. West Virginia got everything that they could handle. And Darius Nichols brought his Radford team here to Morgantown earlier in the month. You got to respect a guy like Bob Huggins and appreciate what he's done for all of his friends in the game who have done so much for him, working on his staff, grinding it out, or whether they, in the case of a Darius Nichols or on the staff, Calhoun, Hugs has paid it back. He's always paid it forward, but he's making sure to pay it back. He'll take his team to downtown Youngstown, and, you know, he'll make sure that they go on the road and take on Andy Kennedy's team earlier in the week against UAB. This is a relationship business, and boy, does Hugs have a ton of them.
Well, Jared Calhoun said earlier, he said, well, yeah, he likes playing it because he beats us all, so he beats us too.
Akuche hits the deck. That's a Calhoun/Huggins type play that leads to a Shelton 3. Hugs can appreciate that from Michael Akuche, all-time games played leader. He was the one that really set that up for Shelton. Osagoyen at the high post, feeding underneath. Sherman muscling it up and gets fouled.
People don't give Taz Sherman enough credit for his ability to get the shots up inside. The one thing that Hugs talks about with Sherman that is so true is he has such great footwork.
Good look from Gabe, huh? And then, well, this is why Calhoun said that he believes that Sherman is the best scorer that Hugs has had at West Virginia. Not the best player. He made that important distinction when we were talking to him earlier in the week. But the best scorer that Hugs has had here at WVU, and I think that that's a really good example as to why. Chacon out high to Akuche. And a foul.
Well, big loss for Youngstown State. Dwayne Cohill fouls out.
Yep. He is done. Well, that's Kobe with the foul there. And yeah, but you're right. Cohill done with his 5th. Shelton has 4. Hunter has 4. Akuche to the line here. No.
Sean McNeil
Not great.
checks back in for the Mountaineers.
Shelton not a starter, but Cohill and Hunter are, and you have one to injury that's been lost. Shamar Rattan-Mays.
Well, yeah, but, you know, Shelton's been a big part of their offense here in the second half, and now he's saddled with 4 fouls. So, you know, they can't lose him because he's the scorer that they've had this second half.
Yeah, leading the way with 11 points for the Penguins with a 4 of 8 mark from the field. Osaboyan trying to back down his man. Out to Wilson, thought about it. The take and the contact. So Seth Wilson, this is a guy that I think just needs a shot here. A 6'1", 215-pound freshman.
If you talk to Hutz, he says once McNeil and Sherman leave the program, that Seth Wilson is a guy that he feels can step right in and do the things that those guys do from the perimeter.
Wilson has got just over 5 minutes tonight.
Young man had a tough beginning, losing his father right at the beginning of the year. So he struggled with, you know, with some of the things there, but he's back now and seems to be playing well.
Just made his first 2 collegiate free throws. Akuche with authority.
Yep.
Basket by Akuche.
Big rip.
Well, when you take the chances that West Virginia takes sometime with this press, some of those are going to happen. Good execution by Youngstown State.
Mountaineers by 20. Osaboyan, McNeil back in there from short range. Bullseye.
Good job by McNeil. They thought he was going to come all the way across under the basket. He stopped and then popped back. Good set by West Virginia. McNeil ready, knocked the shot down.
Guarding Chacon on the kick out. Akuche this time hits from long distance.
Three-pointer by Akuche.
(63-44) Mountaineers. Kobe Johnson. West Virginia, are they going to run the same play here? Osaboyan in the high post looking for Cottrell, but hands in there for the Penguins.
Isaiah Cottrell's got to be more aggressive in going to get that basketball.
Reach up and out and receive that bounce pass. And Shelton from way outside. Popped out by Johnson. And a jump ball called. Osaboyan on Jameer Thomas.
Jump ball.
Arrow to West Virginia. Sean McNeil.
There's a timeout.
16 points, a game high for the West Virginia Mountaineers. He's 5 of 6, and WVU leads it by 19. So there's Bob Huggins inside the huddle. The West Virginia Mountaineers were clutching to a 1-point lead. And Huggins was actually thinking about bringing the snowman in to try to make some buckets for West Virginia in the opening half. He has not had to do that in this second half, as WVU is 10 of 14 from the field, 6 of 8 from outside, and well on the way to victory number 9-11 for Bob Huggins as he closes shortly to 9 victories away from Jim Calhoun here in this meeting against Jared Calhoun.
Fifth year in a row he's been on the Naismith Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He has to get in this year.
We've been saying that for 4 years. This has to be the year. This has to be the year.
I said if he doesn't get in this year, I'm going to rent a bus and drive to Springfield.
I like it. All right, Bake, we are...
I'm going to have a busload of people go to Springfield with me.
I will be your co-pilot. I am there, my man. Right there with you. And guess what? I don't think we could stuff a bus... full of Mountaineers. We certainly could, right? All of Morgantown, all 1.8 million. I hope your bus will seat that many. My goodness, McNeil just is unconscious here in this second half. And the Mountaineers build that lead to 21 points. So he's got it working from the elbows. He had it working from outside the wings and in the corners. Sean McNeil from every angle. And he's going to be giving Youngstown State fits in their bus ride back to Northeast Ohio later tonight.
Well, Youngstown State will not see pressure like this in the Horizon League. You know, they have to take this and learn from it. They're back in the 1-3-1 zone now. But, I mean, with McNeil on the court, you have to be careful with him, so you better find him.
Bridges gets in on it.
And that's what the Mountaineer fans have been waiting to see. It could be that third outside threat that the Mountaineers need.
West Virginia has knocked down a total of 8 3-pointers. I beg your pardon, 7. But I think before too long they'll hit 8. We still have 5 minutes to go. Shelton has tried a bunch. Tries another here. Follows the shot and gets the lay-in.
Basket by Shelton.
So 5 minutes to go. What are you throwing here if you're Jared Calhoun at West Virginia?
Well, they're going back man-to-man now. I don't think Jared feels they can't. First of all, if they stay in the zone, West Virginia can chew too much clock.
Foul.
Nice cut by Cottrell inside.
Cottrell's line really isn't going to light up or look all that great as Calhoun. Looking at the scoreboard, not great, but as far as Cottrell's concerned, he's 5 points here as he goes back to the line and misses. But I think he's played a better game than his stat line is going to indicate. Would you agree with that, Babe?
Yes, I certainly would.
Just as he continues to find his way here at the college level. Obviously got off to a pretty good start last year before the Achilles injury. And he's eventually going to find it, and I think that this will work itself out for Isaiah Cottrell, despite going 0 for 2 from the line. West Virginia holds the 68-46 lead. Shelton, again a miss. West Virginia, a foul on Ollison. Bridges.
Well, one thing that Bob Huggins, again, is going to harp on, West Virginia is getting out-rebounded by Youngstown State, and that certainly is not going to be something that's going to sit well with them. And that's something that's going to have to improve as they go into Big 12 play.
Ollison, an 85% shooter. Transferred in from an NAIA school. Memphis, Tennessee native.
Boy,
never happy, is he?
No.
By the way.
Jameer Thomas comes in. They say 275. I think he might be north of 275. He's a big, solid guy.
Kedrian Johnson to McNeil. Oh, was he going to do it? Fans wanted him to. Instead of taking a foul. All right, so it starts outside, then to the elbows, and then a downhill take in an and-one play for Sean McNeil. 20 on the evening for McNeil, 7 of 8.
Oh. Left hand, nice, sweet layup. You can only hold great scorers down so long. At some point in time, if you fall asleep on them, they're going to make you pay.
West Virginia 72% from the line tonight. As Thomas, he's done. 5 on him. A couple of Penguins have fouled out. And McNeil hits. And boy, Jared Calhoun wasn't lying when he said, we're not going to leave any fouls on the ledger here. So he's got 2 that have fouled out, a couple of others with 4.
He just didn't anticipate West Virginia shooting that well from the line.
12% over their season average. Nice hit from Chacon.
Chacon, known more as an assist man rather than a scorer, had a really nice looking shot that time down. Nice cut by McNeil.
Sean McNeil, 4 points off his career high from last season against Texas Tech when he hit 26. Swirls around and out for Gordo. West Virginia's hit their last 6 shots. How about this half? 78% from the field. 14 out of 18. McNeil.
I'm sure Hugs told him at halftime, we can't shoot any worse than we did first half, so let's relax and go out and do it, and they have.
McNeil and Cottrell harassing, but McNeil, I suppose, with the foul. No, that's going to be on Cottrell. So West Virginia up 23, just inside of 3 minutes to go. Sean McNeil, 23 points, 8 of 9, has made it a rough second half for Jared Calhoun and the Youngstown State Penguins here in Morgantown. Almost got taken out earlier tonight. That's the most dangerous job in the WVU Coliseum tonight. The baseline camera, man or woman, on the rolling chair.
At the foul line for Youngstown State.
Ollison fouled before we went to break. 1-1 for Ollison, and he missed the front end. Sherman with the rebound for WVU. Taz with a nondescript 16-point evening, overshadowed by the 23 points from Sean McNeil. McNeil on the bench for this series as Sherman took a hard pass, couldn't set his feet, and as he goes to put it up, it's blocked there. As Elite Curry never hit an iron, has inside of 10 seconds to figure something out for West Virginia. Curry with a take. Boy, did he get downhill quickly. Other end, between the backboard and rim, a West Virginia foul. My goodness. How about this? You talk about going from 0 to 60, Warren Baker, real quick. Malik
Yes,
Curry.
he did. He exploded right through that double team.
The line for Youngstown State.
Coming right at you.
You know, that was created in part by Taz being on the wing. The defender stepped out because I think they thought Curry might feed that ball to Sherman on the wing.
Ja'Cory Owens, freshman, front end, back end. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina. 75-52. West Virginia the lead with an explosive second half after they were up 24-23. At the end of the first half of plays, Curry knocks one down, nice jump shot. It's amazing that Youngstown State, Warren, had the lead for over 13 minutes in this game.
Yep.
You wouldn't know it by watching the second half for those tuning in late. It was, I mean, about as ugly a shooting half as we've seen in a long while for WVU. Keedy Johnson gets the drop in like everything is falling. Everything is falling for West Virginia. How about in this second half? 17 of 23 for WVU.
Youngstown State's out of fuel.
They are.
They're on vapors right now.
Yeah. Diminished numbers, primarily backups in at this juncture, and these 90 seconds remaining in the game cannot elapse quickly enough for the Penguins. They will sleep well tonight, but they learned quite a bit about themselves and really what it takes as Taz from way outside hits the front. West Virginia.
One of the few times that you'll see Taz shoot a ball, he wasn't totally squared up just now when he let that go. Ooh.
Kerrigan with the near interception and into the corner.
1 minute to play.
Strong from Agordo. West Virginia will call off the dogs here a little bit. Maybe run a final set, as Hugs is going to call a rolling timeout to get Seth Wilson into the lineup and get Taz Sherman out of harm's way. Sherman's going to finish with 16 points for WVU on what was an off night for Taz. 4 of 12 from the field, but still drops in his 16, including every free throw but one. 6 of 7 from the charity stripe, off his mark of 21 points per game, but nevertheless still productive. Good ball fake. Curry high off the window, and it goes down.
Well, you know, Curry was the leading scorer at ODU, Old Dominion, last year, and you can see that right now.
Look at that ball fake, huh?
Oh my.
Yeah, Owen Long. Not going to see that in the Horizon League.
Yeah. He's so strong with that left hand when he goes in. You know, you talk about Taz being off a little bit. Taz is going to see every defense known to man. as he goes into Big 12 play. People know how dynamic he can be, so he's going to have to get used to seeing a lot of different looks.
Well, the shot clock is now off, and West Virginia will be able to dribble one out. A 30-point victory. A massive second half. 58-29, they outscored the Penguins in the second half after leading them 24-23 in the opening half. And there's a couple of good buddies right there. West Virginia will 8 straight, going to 11-1 on the year, winning at 82-52 over Youngstown State.
Based on what you saw early on, you can't imagine how West Virginia got 82 points. Credit the defense and then hot shooting with the Stars stepping up here in the second half.
So, West Virginia, their next game, New Year's Day 2022 against the Texas Longhorns when they open up Big 12 play. The non-conference slate is over. West Virginia wins 11 of 12 to start 2021. So for Warren Baker and Angelica Trinone, I'm Dan Zangrelli saying so long from Morgantown, West Virginia, where the final score, the Mountaineers 82, the Penguins 52. All games airing on ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app.